Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to your place of chill. It is the Coffee Company, of course, live. It's Monday, so we're back for another. Yeah, that's why. So that's why I'm talking about it. It's Monday, so we're live here on Tottenham on Tour, the world famous home of Levy Out, and we're here for another episode of
Tottenham on Tour. Sorry, mate, I was just miles away. And your Frank therapy session is open, people. It is open for business. Hope everyone is good and well. And obviously the world famous home of Levy Out.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a few things to go through today. Spurs have beaten Brentford in pre-season tour, and we will talk about...
Sorry? Who have we beaten?
Reading.
You just said Brentford.
Did I say Brentford?
You did.
Sorry, we've beaten Reading.
We're on fire this morning.
I am not. I was at a barbecue, so we might as well have played Brentford. I was at Sava's barbecue, and it was a great time. So thank you to Sava for inviting me and everyone else for some tasty dinners and some good laughs. But we'll talk about the Reading game. We will talk about our highlights, because you've not had a chance to speak about this. You've spoken about this on other channels, Aki, but we will talk about our favourite bits, the not so good bits, and many things that we can talk about. But there's loads of things to talk about. But unfortunately, we heard the news about Friday. Unfortunately, Paul Gascoigne has been taken very ill and has been in intensive care since Friday. He is stable, apparently, according to the sources. But us here at Tottenham on Tour would like to wish Gazza a get well soon. And everyone knows Brian's love.
Yeah. Honestly, I will just very quickly say, when I saw that news and I saw his intensive care, I shit myself. I every time I hear he goes into hospital, I get very, very concerned. Obviously, we don't know the circumstances of what happened. We don't know if it was alcohol related. And obviously, with my stance with alcohol, this time next week, I'll be celebrating 17 years sober. This time next week. So whenever I see Gazza, I always get worried. But the most important thing is he sounds stable. We'll wait and hear more news. We're going to do a bit of Gazza nostalgia at the end.
Absolutely.
But yeah, everyone will be wishing Paul Gascoigne a speedy recovery. For me, the greatest player to ever wear the shirt until the day I die. Till the day I die, no one will top him.
And we will have this argument. But it's another bit of house cleaning. If you have not subscribed already to Tottenham on Tour, we are on the way to 10,000 subscribers, and I believe we are 360 away from the magical 10K. Let's have a look. I'm bringing up the numbers. I'm bringing it up. We are 300. We are 637 away from the magic number. So if you have not subscribed already, make sure you like and subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. And of course, the Coffee Company on the way to 2,000 subs. But without further ado, let's see who's in the chat to take us through the show. Let's see. Everyone's a European champion, but let's see who's here. We've got Adiz. Good to see ya. And Adiz has posted this. They want to, but this news comes from the least reliable journalist on the history of the earth. But for me, this is Nottingham Forest, knowing that Morgan Gibbs-White wants to leave. They don't want to sell him to Tottenham because they want to make themselves look the big men. So they're manufacturing information.
Just so people know, I put it on my Twitter. The guy that has started, it's not even Nottingham Forest, the guy that has started this and started this rumour mill going, a guy from Twitter's collected a load of data from him. He is referred to, even by Manchester City fans, as the worst, most unreliable, bullshitting ITK, whatever you want to call him, ever. He is the only one that's saying it. Do not believe Morgan Gibbs-White to Man City, especially when they spent over £100 million on midfielders.
Yep. Indeed. We got Adrian Schroeder, European champion. Ooh la la, European champion. And of course, she's a YouTube member on the Coffee Company, and she's there. Thank you to everyone for the Kate and Jim raid. Big up to Kate and Jim for the raid. Thank you so much. Side dancer, good to see you, buddy. European champion. Good to see you. Yes, we'll talk about this after we get through, but apparently there is some news. Tweaky, good to see you. Good to see you. YouTube member, European champion, Scott Colliver, Terry Wright, George, Nye, good to see you, Nye, Christian, the Spurs fan, all European champions, but state of mind, European champion, YouTube member, the Guardians of the Pommel. Good to see ya, European champion. Mansa's in the house. Donny Rodriguez, Sweden. Malware. We have Colin Crossamano. Good to see ya, buddy. We've got Dormotron. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Dermot Ron. Or was it Dermatron? I don't know. Frosty, good to see you. Simon, good to see you. Simon, everyone's saying get well soon to Gazza. Indeed, it's good. We'll talk about it. Zach Robinson, good to see you. Good to see you.
He's coming.
Swifty, good to see you, buddy.
Next week, can't wait.
I'm not talking anything political, but Junior Mafia's in the house. Good to see you. Razzle Dazzle's in the house. Kudos is in the house. My lovely Vicky, who is actually here, but she's here. She's here. Paul Tucknott, good to see her. European champion. Oh my words. We got Gray, Ryan G, runners-up in the 1972 UEFA Cup final. Archer, YouTube member.
Big up Archer, buddy.
Curly
by the way, Archer, I'm in talk with the Canadian Spurs channel you told me about yesterday. We've been talking via YouTube, so thank you for that, mate.
Are you in talks? Is there concrete interest?
There's a brand new channel called The Canadian Dose of Spurs. He lives in Alberta. He's a brand new channel. He's got about 700 subscribers, and we've been talking, and hopefully I'm going to get him on one of the late night shows and go on his show. Got to support the Canadian channels.
Absolutely. We got Ian Ferguson, who is back from his honeymoon. Good to see her. Gary Officer, good to see Sammy Mehmet. Yes, indeed. Apparently he's not on the plane though, Adrian. We have Angus. Where the hell is Jokeres? He's still not there yet. He's still not there. He's still not there. Lubed by Levy. Good to see a Raider. The titanium interest. Is he? I don't know. I didn't see anything. Chavi Simmons apparently to Chelsea. And that is Nah, we're never dropping it, mate. We're not dropping it until the new season starts. Let us have fun. So let us have a bit. And we got the Sheriff. Good to see you at the weekend.
First of all,
to see you.
Before we just dissect the Morgan Gibbs-White, before we can talk actual Spurs stuff, all I will say to Tweaky is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, is all I'm going to say. So we're going to get into the Gazza nostalgia, which is probably my favourite subject apart from Levy out. I can't wait to get to that bit. But someone put it there. The thing with Morgan Gibbs-White, someone's put it in here quite recently. Where was it? I think it was... I can't find... Here you go. From Gray. This is what's being released. The Morgan Gibbs-White did not get on the flight because his wife is going through a high-risk pregnancy. So first of all, I hope everything goes all right with his wife. That is the most important thing. Forget the transfer, anything else. But surely the thing that could be a very, very valid excuse. But up until yesterday, everyone, this just goes to show that no one has a clue what's going on. Up until yesterday, Morgan Gibbs-White was going to Portugal and leaving his wife in a high-risk pregnancy. So there is so much nonsense, and it's getting to the point now. I'm still 100% confident, 100% confident by the end of the window. There you go, his fiance. Potato, Angus. Whatever happens.
Nobody knows shit.
Exactly.
Nobody knows.
Don't get me wrong. The hold-up is absolutely infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. And I just want Spurs to go either A, here's 70 million, bang, let's get this over and done with. Spurs can move on, Forest can move on. Is Forest spending the Gibbs-White Alanga money like we spent the Bale money before it came in? I've got no doubt in my mind, but it just goes to show yesterday Morgan Gibbs-White expected to get on flight to Nottingham Forest, and that was not just by Forest ITKs, that was by journalists, whatever. And then all of a sudden today he's not going because his wife/fiance is going through a high-risk pregnancy. Well, she would have been going through a high-risk pregnancy yesterday. So it just goes to show there's absolute nonsense. I don't think Tottenham have done anything wrong. I think Morgan Gibbs-White will be a Spurs player. And this is just another plot twist, isn't it, Ben?
Indeed. We don't disagree on much, do we, though, Aki? It's a bit too much of an echo chamber of us, really. We both agree that this will eventually go through. Yep. I think Nottingham Forest have gone too far down the league. I think they're desperately trying to make themselves look a bit powerful and a bit big of a club, and I think it's failed. I think it's as I said earlier, they are deliberately just trying to just be a pariah. They think they're bigger than they are. I do think Forest are a big club, and everyone thinks Forest are a big club, but the way they're acting will do them more harm than good. Because I think Spurs, although we don't like the way Spurs act, and we on this channel don't like the way Spurs act a lot of the time, but no one can deny that majority of the time Spurs are one of the squeakiest, cleanest football clubs in terms of this stuff on the planet.
Yep.
I don't think Spurs have done anything wrong. Yeah, you might be a bit distasteful, but I think Spurs are the sort of, like we saw that with Basuma, didn't we, 2 years ago? How good the legal team was. As soon as they got that all clear, they pounced.
Yeah, listen, we just need resolution. That's all it is. We just need bloody resolution into this situation and move on. Because now it's not the Morgan Gibbs-White thing could go on. It could be over today. It could be over the 1st of September before 7 p.m. UK time. But Spurs need to move on to other targets now. And I don't mean other targets as in Morgan Gibbs-White position. I mean other players. They've got the budget. They could be doing it now and just waiting for Gibbs-White. But we can't sit around here anymore. Every team is strengthening. Every team is strengthening. And this is what's getting me frustrated. And I still believe investment. Big up, John. I still believe investment is coming into this football club this summer. But I've believed it more than any other possible takeover, investment, whatever. But even that's gone quiet now.
Indeed.
If this goes according to plans and what we're hearing, we're going to end up at the end of the window saying, my God, what a window. But if it all goes Pete Tong and it's another hot air lip service window, oh dear. There's going to be a storm brewing.
What does everyone think? Is everyone still worried about the transfer? What does everyone think? What is everyone thinking before we decide to move on to, of course, the main event of the weekend? As we say hello to We Are Spurs TV. Good to see. Oh no, we got another guest joining us.
Wait, just very quickly, Adrian, where have you seen that? Where have you seen that? Nothing would give me more pleasure. Oh, Graham's here. Okay. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than to start seeing on Twitter. It would if it starts breaking that he's done that, then exactly.
Of course, Angus doesn't think we'll get him. Of course, Angus doesn't think we'll get him. You still think you'll get him. Angus still thinks Arsenal are getting Rodrigo, for God's sake. For God's sake. A player that doesn't want to go to Arsenal and he still thinks they're getting him. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. At least our player actually wants to get up to go.
Do you know what? Let's just put this question out. Let's just put this one question out. And it's not going to be about transfers. There's rumours that this investment is coming and it's meant to be the naming right deal. Okay, it was Sean Butler that gave it to you. Okay. Matt Law, has Matt Law said about the Gibbs-White transfer request? Just a simple yes or no.
Big up, shorty boy.
Do we? I was on a stream with him yesterday. I haven't streamed with him yesterday for ages. Always enjoyable. I do, mate. Honestly, when Gibbs-White gets announced in a Spurs shirt, me and Craig are going to have a goddamn field day on Twitter. We are going to have an absolute field day. But the question I was going to ask, yes or no, do you think investment of any kind, whether it be the naming rights, whether it be actual investment into the club, let's say by the end of the window, by the end of the summer transfer window, do you think Spurs will have investment of some point, of some sort, that isn't Lewis and Enoch?
Indeed.
Yes or no?
Let us move on, Brian.
Let's do it.
Let us move on to the game at the weekend. Tottenham Hotspur beat Reading in a pre-season friendly.
Yep.
It was, in a way, it was eye-opening. In a way, it was lovely to see some proper coaching. It was lovely to see patterns of play. It was lovely to see actual football for a change, wasn't it? There was no dilly-dallying. There was no inverted this and wide that. It was watching a proper football team. It was seeing people move into space, people doing this, fullbacks taking on their fullback. It was good to see, wasn't it?
Well, first of all, I think we need to go back a bit. Which was shown, I didn't get to see this actual bit, but obviously the videos came out. The training drills at both pre-game, after the game, was a step up. We'll get into the coaching, Thomas Frank itself, but seeing those things were absolutely incredible. And like I said, I've waited for this moment to see Thomas Frank and his style of football and him in the Spurs dugout. And mate, I was absolutely delighted with what I saw. Yes, it's Reading. Yes, the first half wasn't the greatest, but you could see what Frank's plans and the coaching staff, and fair play to the coaching staff, sitting on the dugout with tablets out. Thomas Frank with his tactics board, which will soon be available in the Spurs shop if they have any, which they will.
They're going to sell them, aren't you?
Wait, of course they will. Of course they will. They will be right next to the Cuda seats.
Yeah, tablets.
Well,
yes.
So look, I just saw Thomas Frank. Do you know what? To sum it up, I saw Tottenham play as a team with structure, with a structure, which is what we have been lacking for 2 and a bit years.
We're not going to blow everything out of proportion. I think it was a very interesting first half. It was good to see some of the players. It was really nice to see your boy Alfie Devine take up some really good positions. It was really good to see him do those little jinks and jives and those little balls in behind, passing it round over the shoulder. And then it was really nice to see fluidity in the way Tottenham approached going forward, wasn't it? And I think if we get in a more... I think James Maddison, when he gets in that team, I think he's going to have a lot of fun and a lot of joy in that position.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the first half firstly. Who was your main event? Your number one for that first half performance?
Listen, I'm going to be exceedingly biased. Pete, I don't even need to go into it. I love seeing Alfie. I think his pressing went very, very underrated. He lost the ball a couple of times, which he needs to improve on. But like Craig just said, the defence looked like they wanted to defend. And I'm going to say it again, the one that I love, I absolutely adore Kevin Danso. I absolutely love him. And yes, it's Reading. This is the first 45 minutes. We have missed, I would say, Joe, probably since Michael Dawson, an old school defender that just loves to defend.
Yeah.
Forget this ball playing or whatever. I think Michael Dawson may have been, unless people can think of others, the last one that was literally put your body on the line, do like just defend. I don't care about anything else. Let me just defend. I love Kevin Danso. For me,
I think he's very decent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's more than very decent. I think Danso is just going to go from strength to strength. And when we looked at it and when we were getting him from Wolves, I didn't know much about him, but it was like, okay, but a lot of fans were like, oh my God, we're buying Wolves rejects now. People have got to remember, Wolves buy some cracking players.
Yeah.
That, I honestly, I think Danso is a brilliant. They certainly, Scott, they did, didn't they? They looked, I think Porro is already, you can see, I think the mainstream media talking about it, looks like he's going to be in more Trent Alexander mould for Liverpool. And he's got the attributes to do it. Destiny got stronger and stronger. The defence looked good. And do you know what? And I said it when I was watching it. It was great to see us defending set pieces. First half and second half. We looked good forward, but every time a set piece came in for the last couple of years, we're like, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah.
They look so comfortable. So comfortable. Who stood out for you, Ben? Who stood out for you in the chat, people?
I've got a negative and I've got a positive. My very positive, I'm going with your boy, Alfie Devine. I really enjoyed his performance. I really enjoyed his performance in the first half of that game. And my negative connotation, I thought Solanke was utterly terrible in that first half.
We can have a talk about
I thought he was dreadful. He looked rusty. He looked rash. He looked like he'd not played football in 15 years. He's really got to get fit now because he looked awful. And that's this isn't. I'm not going to go too hard. I'm not going to go too hard on him because it is only the first game of pre-season. But everyone else looked really, really sharp. He looked terrible, and we've got to see more. He's got to do more.
Yeah.
If he's going to be the number one for Spurs up front, he has to do more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Divine's pass was world class. It was elite. It was the greatest pass in history. Dominic Solanke, I do like him as a striker. I do think there's something there, but that kind of performance, yes, it's the first 45 minutes, and I honestly do think, let's just say, windows closed, and there is you got to remember the first team will be Kudus, Maddison, Gibbs-White, maybe a left winger, because we'll talk about some when we do second half. I think he's gone. Whether you like him or not, whether you want him to or not, I think the time is up. You can see it. There could be a potential another left winger. I think then Solanke's a lot more in the goals. I think he's a lot more in the goals. But whether he is or whether he isn't, we need a new striker, one that will guarantee 20 goals. So we definitely need whether that.
We need a few more players that will chip in 10. We need a few more players that can chip in 10 goals. Maddison will chip in 10. I think Kudus will chip in 10 when he's up and running. Johnson will chip in about 15, 20, and I think he'll get 30 goals and assists next season. I'm sticking with that.
Exactly, brother. Now, do you know what, guys? Whilst we're talking, Dominic, there's 160 of you in here. Be realistic, and I mean realistic. Let's not go nuts. If you could bring in a striker right now, and I think people are going to say Vlahovic or Sesko.
I don't think Vlahovic is that good for the money.
I'm with you on that. I think he could be exceptional, but it could be the other way as well. But if you could go out right now and bring in a realistic striker, who are you going for? If you had the chance now to bring in a striker for Spurs,
fuck off. I'm sorry.
The way you're going with Gyökeres, you'll probably end up with him.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm sorry. If I
forgot. Thank you, Christian. What a name, Christian Rara. What a name. What a name. Welcome to the family, brother. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I completely forgot about Wissa was saying that. For me, it would be Wissa.
Wilkins?
I think he means Watkins. I think he means Ollie Watkins.
Oh, Watkins. I like Watkins. No, he isn't. Vlahovic is incredibly unrealistic.
No, he's realistic financially wise. He's not. He's not. Terry Wright's gone with Danny Ings. See, the bloke from Rennes, when that broke, I did it again with Ben. I don't know who he is, but again, if we're bringing in a Gibbs-White and then we go get a big number 6 in, I'll be fine with that. Oh, mate, if only. But do you know what? I think Wissa for me is that's the one that Spurs that Adrian just put in. That's the guy from Rennes. But I think Wissa, Archer, they will sell Wissa. But do you know what they're like now? They're like when we would have tried. Rumoured to be in for Semenyo, they will just up the price and say, right, we've got the money in now. We don't need to drop now. We're holding firm at whatever the fee may be. This is Jado. You know what? I think someone like if we have to sign a 30-year-old striker, Ollie Watkins, for example, guarantees you goals in the Premier League.
Good for 2 years, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and that Spurs have got to stop thinking.
Too old, though. He's too old.
Has not late travelled. Yeah, no, yeah. Rob. Apparently. The rumours coming out, Rob, and Rob has been like me when it comes to Morgan Gibbs-White. The rumour is, and I don't know how much I buy the situation, Rob, but the situation is apparently he's not travelled because his wife/fiance is going through a very high-risk pregnancy. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I wish her well. I hope everything goes well with that. But then it's like, wait a minute. Surely he was going through... His fiance was going through a high-risk pregnancy yesterday when he was meant to be travelling. So it's just insane. It's just insane. We obviously wish Morgan Gibbs-White's fiance and him and family all the best during that time. But it's like, well, surely that would have been an issue yesterday. So Nottingham Forest were prepared to let him go to Portugal during a high-risk... Yeah, I don't buy. I buy that that's the situation Morgan Gibbs-White and his family are going through. I don't buy that's the reason.
We would have known that information last week.
Exactly. They would have known it for the whole. Exactly.
Let's talk about the second half then, and we're going to be. People are saying they're already going to hype him to the moon, and they're going to be shameless. Let's talk about the absolute monster of a performance from Luka Vuskovic.
Before you do that, let's just talk about half time and see. I mean, I was watching it with a few people. One of them said, wouldn't it be a laugh if he did the Phil Brown and did half time on the pitch?
And then he did it.
And then I was like, he did it, but not only did he do it, you could see him with his tactic board out doing stuff, and just seeing him, Justin Concrete and his coaching staff. Obviously, it'll be more in depth and everything in the changing room, but it was just absolutely wonderful to see that this is the way their coaching methods. It was just wonderful to see. And then obviously the wholesale changes. And now, Ben, you can go on to your...
Let's talk about him. 18-year-old Luka Vuskovic. What the hell have we got? My God. A goal and an assist from a centre-back on his weak side in his first ever performance. What the hell was that? The guy's a monster. The guy's... I can't believe it. He did so firstly, the goal for Will Ange, really good header. Another set piece. Kudus. Another amazing ball. Did loads of really good crosses in that second half. Really good set piece play. Really nice to see Thomas Frank is already coaching those set pieces. Goal was really, really good. Well timed. Good header into the path of Free Willy, as we like to say. # Free Willy. I get to post that meme again. I get to post that meme. But really good finish as a tap in. But that second goal, Aki. What a finish. That was Harry Kane-esque. That was full Harry Kane on his weak foot.
Well, first of all, I mean, obviously he did the massive clattering challenge before that as well. So he clattered into someone, got an assist, got a goal, did a goal line clearance. So first of all, the first goal, Kudus with the cross. I think, it was Kudus with the cross.
Kudus with the assist, yeah.
How good was it to see us winning the first ball at a set piece? How good was it to see us scoring from a set piece? Frank's been there 5 weeks or 6 weeks now since he's been appointed. How quick has that gone? But he's been there. Obviously, they've been back since July the 1st, or what would it? And already the set pieces look night and day from last season. You can see why Brentford was so good at it, only conceding 2 last season compared to one. You can see immediately their message is getting across. The defenders are defending, and what a leap! I mean, let's be very, very fair and honest. Not many people are going to beat Luka Vuskovic for an aerial ball if he gets the jump first. Forget it. So it was a great flick on and a great job. Whether Will actually knew anything about it or he's cushioned it, it was a wonderful finish. But then the goal. The thing I used to love about Harry Kane the most, and I don't know if people have seen this or I'm sure they have. I've gone back and watched his goals so many times. Every single Spurs goal he's done. I've never seen a striker hit the side netting so many times in my life. If you watch Harry Kane, they always say when you take a penalty, if you hit the side netting,
it's a goal.
The keeper's not saving it. There's not, even if he goes the right way. Harry Kane consistently does like ridiculous amount of times, and it was an incredible finish, and we've all wanted to see him. I was one that said, you know what, if one of him or Phillips has to go out on loan, then I would say Vuskovic because he hasn't got championship experience. But performances like that, mate, he's going nowhere. He's going absolutely nowhere.
League One squad, not League One. Put him in the League Cup squad. Let's because let's face it, he's 18 years of age and he's 6'4" already. When he finishes growing at about 2021, he's going to be 6'6", 6'7".
He's a bit Peter Crouch.
What are they feeding him? And he's not like he's like one of those, because most people that are quite lanky. He's built like a monster, and he's 18. He
just reminds me. He reminds me of Ivan Drago in Rocky.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like he's been modified. He's just been in a lab, and people have been working on him to build his strengths up. He's okay. Well, I mean,
Duncan Castles isn't reliable, though, is he? He's not reliable.
Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look. Duncan Castles. Let's have a look. Let's see if he's put. I'm on his Twitter right now. He's not tweeted anything. Oh wait, 11 minutes. 1 second. Yes, he has. Liverpool. Yeah. He's done a summary basically. He said Liverpool have got Etitike, Sporting squeeze Arsenal. Go on, carry on squeezing Sporting. This is what they did with us with Porro. Isaac Dowson, Buemo, Barca to sign Rashford. Sancho chooses Juventus. Tottenham offer club record fee for Sabani. Listen, if that happens, goodbye Romero.
Romero's going to be gone, isn't he?
If it goes off, it's goodbye Romero. But getting back, we spoke about Vuskovic. Second half, I think we have to talk about the one that West Ham said he's shit. Don't worry, we're not bothered. I think kudos. Do you know what? We've waited a long, long time to see a guy get the ball and just run and be so direct and literally take his man on. It was again, it's Reading. It's the first game, but he looks a handful. Whether it be on the left or the right, this guy looks like he's going to be a fullback's nightmare. He really does. Big up, Troy.
I really enjoyed watching Kudus. He's unpredictable. He's got great technical ability. Left foot, right foot, takes people on, goes for those little spaces. Love it. And great delivery. All his deliveries, both on the left side of the pitch and the right side of the pitch, always went near his mark. So when he gets fully fit and he's I really enjoyed Kudus' performance. I really enjoyed it. Yes, it is only against Reading. Yes, people think we're not overhyping. We can only go by what we saw, and we really enjoyed the performances from everyone. This week we're playing Luton Town, which is going to be really annoying because Josh Keeley's going to have an absolute. He's going to have a mind blower. He is going to be the best player on the pitch this weekend because I can just see it happening.
I will say in a summary of it all, before we talk Thomas Frank, we'll talk Thomas Frank a bit. I've seen people saying Bergvall looked off. Obviously, Johnson. There's a few players that look completely off it. I always think first game of pre-league. Yes, they've been training, whatever. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm doing a manager on the touchline thing.
What is that?
Wax on, wax off. But it's the first game. For me, pre-season is all about getting fitness and learning the new systems. Yes, there's players that looked off it. If they're off it against Reading as they were, and I forget against Luton, I'm going to be. It's like literally they're just getting into the swing of things. When it comes,
remember when Darren Bent in pre-season scored like 2 goals in every single game. He scored in every single game in pre-season, and then he was awful that season, like the worst. Pre-season means nothing. Pre-season means absolutely nothing. Was it Spurs had a pre-season where we won every single game, didn't we? And
then lost 4-1 to Wimbledon.
And then we lost 4-1 to Wimbledon. Luckily, I've got Graham here to give me a bit of Spurs history. He's my history. He's my oracle at this moment in time. Pre-season is all about fitness and getting tactically aware of the situation.
Correct. That's all it's about. When we get to play in the filth, Newcastle and Bayern Munich, then he'll start playing the first team together. Then he'll start getting his team sorted, ready for Burnley. If he needs to get all the chinks out of the system, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. And they will literally be trying different formations, different systems. I'm sure he'll mix it. It won't be the same 11 in the first half against Luton and the same second half. He'll mix and match them all and get to know his players better. They'll get 2 weeks more training in. I think, do you know what? Before we talk Frank, let's talk Heung-min Son.
We've got to. If I'm going to lambast Dominic Solanke, Sonny has to get the same treatment. He was dreadful. He was dreadful. And it's that Batman phrase, isn't it? You die young enough to see it. You either die the hero or you see yourself living long enough to become the villain. Sonny, I'd rather, like, people are going to say, what do you mean? I'd rather play Tell. I would rather play Tell than Son at the moment. He was absolutely terrible. And it's not good enough from Sonny. And that's our captain as well. That's our captain.
Yeah, I will say with this, I actually think his body language told more than the performance. I think it was Heung-min Son just did not. I mean, we've seen afterwards when he was going on about his back and he just didn't look happy. His body language wasn't there. And also, actually, this reminds me with Sonny. I'm just going to bring Morgan Gibbs-White into this. Obviously, we don't know. It's looking like he hasn't gone to Portugal. But people are going mad that he may have gone to Portugal, even though he played every single pre-season game for Wolves, as Ryan will say, before he moved to Forest. Everyone's going mad that he's going to go on this and as Craig said as well, he's going to Portugal, or could have been going to Portugal. He's not going to Mars. He's not going to Mars. But then we've got people that are all know that Heung-min Son is going to be in Korea, and then he's probably going. So we have to remember, why is it not okay for Morgan Gibbs-White to get on the plane to Portugal, but it is okay for Son to get on a plane to Korea? And then so people do this when you go on pre-season. Harry Kane went on pre-season, and then we sold him. You look at this happens with players. But getting back to Son, his body language was, and we've been blessed to see Heung-min Son for 10 years, and I've not once seen his body language like that. Not once. Even during the dark times and the bad times with everything going on, I have not seen Heung-min Son look so disconnected. Yeah. Maybe he's just come back. Maybe he's not up to full fitness, or maybe it's just now. Exactly, mate. It's not far. This is the thing. But Heung-min Son Who knows? We'll see against Luton. I'm sure he'll play against, unless his back injury is something. I think we are now witnessing the final few weeks of Heung-min Son as a Spurs player. I think I was
very sad. It's really sad.
You know, the sad thing is, you know what the sad thing is whether he goes straight after but I think he is going. If he goes straight after the tour career or before the season starts, he's not going to be able to get a send-off at Tottenham.
No.
There's no hope. I really miss...
They've got to find a way of doing it as a trophy-winning captain and as a Spurs legend, because he is a Spurs legend.
I really miss, and people of my age will remember this, and obviously younger, because it was only recently. I remember, and I used to love it, the Saturday before the season started, Spurs always played a pre-season game at home. Yeah. Always unveiled the new players. The
new shirt.
The last one I went to is the season where Gareth Bale went to Madrid and we had Soldado and he scored a penalty against... I keep forgetting. Who's the team that only signed Basque players? Bilbao. We played Bilbao. But I used to love every Saturday before the start of the season, and that would have been the perfect thing for Heung-min Son, if he was going, to say goodbye. But I think whether it be after career or before the window shuts, I am convinced Heung-min Son's. I mean, yes or no to the 133 people in here. Do you think Son is going? Yes or no? I think it's.
You need to have a shout out for Phil Coyes because he was very, very sad. I saw him at the weekend. He was beside himself that his boy Till didn't play. Our thoughts and prayers go to our buddy Phil Coyes, who didn't get to watch Tell at Savas Barbecue and rub it in his face.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers are to Phil Coyes. People still think Sonny is going to be there. Drula says no.
No, I said you think Sonny is going to be going. So
okay. People think he's going. Yeah, okay. Yeah. People think he's going.
Yeah, Liverpool. Do you know what? Just to talk about Liverpool very quickly, it annoyed. Do you know what? You look at it, and so at Gazza, we're going to be talking about the great man himself shortly after we've spoken about Frank. Liverpool, when we had that sliding door moment, everyone talks about 4-1 Wembley, and it was like, right now Spurs built from a place of strength, and we didn't. Well, Liverpool, mate, they've won the league already. It's literally let's go. No one is catching up with them. No one. I don't think City can handle them. Big up Malware.
Big up Malware for a $5 super chat. Saying Johnson as an inside forward in a 3-5-2. Solanke as the target man would potentially be great. Him making those runs and finishes. The problem is, with a 3-5-2, we've just spent £55 million on Kudus. Where does Kudus play? Yeah,
listen, this is the thing. You got to remember, it's going to be a squad game. He will go back to but I think what you got to look at is Johnson, I think, will do much better playing in that position. But I hope Spurs don't say, right, we're going to use Johnson and Tell constantly as the one to play alongside Solanke. We need a strike. We definitely need a striker. But I do think Johnson will be a lot better in that position. He was not very good on Saturday. He was out on the wing again. But I think that was out of necessity, because Kudus would have started there like he did. If we're going to play that, Kudus will play that position. Exactly. There's that as well, Alpesh. There's that as well.
I love that. Kudus, that's brilliant. The prisoner, Marion Azkaban. I like it.
Yeah, that's too long a word for me to say this early in the morning. But I will say, let's just have a
non-disclosure agreement, and there's a release fee for Phil Coyes. Phil Coyes has a release fee on him.
Let's just have a quick chat before we get on to Gazza about Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
Go on, Ben. You go first, because I can wax lyrical about.
We've seen it from the videos, haven't we? Of him of he just looks brilliant, doesn't he? I really love the way he speaks.
Yeah.
It might be that me falling into the love of PR and a new manager, and it's the honeymoon period, blah, 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 blah. I really love the way him and Justin Cochran, I'm putting them two together because I think Justin Cochran is the secret weapon here.
Yeah.
I think he is the secret weapon of the way we attack. I love the way they two speak. They're so positive. They're driving people forward. It's really great to see them work. And I like that how after the game, that video of him talking to everyone of 45 minutes and positive reinforcement. I just really enjoyed the first game of Thomas Frank, and long may it continue with these little bits of information and the way they break things down so articulately, and it's great to see.
Oh no, it is. I mean, obviously, I have fallen. Obviously, people know I'm not going to keep going, but I've wanted this moment and loved everything he's seen, done, whatever, for 2 years. But now when you see it in the Spurs show, I mean, some of the fans, big up Richard, the Montrealian, I'm going to go with it.
To Kate and Jimbo as well. Thank you so much for the raid as well.
Like I said, there was still Spurs fans going mad about him, whether it's still Ange Postecoglou rage syndrome, which is still sweeping through this fan base, or they were just saying, oh, he doesn't look right. Look at that first half. It was boring. It was like, my good God. My good God. And do you know what I loved as well? When Spurs showed yesterday his full-time team talk on the pitch. It's very brief, 1 minute. But this man speaks and everyone listens. And I am just, you will never see me saying a bad word about him. I don't think Spurs fans realise how lucky we are that we've got him.
Just like Spurs fans are so weird, aren't they? Oh, they were taking the piss out of Thomas Frank wearing a tracksuit. He was wearing a Spurs tracksuit because, let's face it, he's not going to wear a suit to a pre-season game, and he doesn't wear them anyway. He's more of a leather jacket sort of bloke. He's wearing a tracksuit to pre-season because he's coaching. He's coaching. And people are still making fun of it. It's bonkers. Yeah. It's bonkers. I think, honestly, look, his first game, to summarise before we speak about the great man Gazza. Clean sheet. How often did Spurs get to say that last season? Yeah. Yes, it was Reading. But believe me, we would have conceded against Reading if Ange was still here. Clean sheet. 2 set pieces look night and day. Scored from set piece. New tactics, a new style of play for the mate. I'm absolutely delighted with it. We go to Luton. Then I'll tell you what, mate. If he goes and beats the filth in that game, then more people, and then we will. Then it may. And I'm not joking when I say this. I honestly think we've got a very good chance of winning the Super Cup, and I'm not joking. I don't think PSG after don't tell that to Angus. Don't tell that to Angus. What are we gonna do? Aki? Well, what? We're gonna do it anyway. 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 Indeed, something inside so strong. We're going to do it anyway. Yeah, we're going to do it anyway. Exactly. But like I said, it's a great time. Honestly, I think people are going to realise how good Thomas Frank is. I don't think PSG play the same team from the World Club Cup. I don't think they do. And I'm being serious. I'm being deadly serious. People can clip it, put it out there, comment on it. I honestly, people didn't realise how good we had it with Poch when he came from Southampton. We are in for a good time. Not Brett Mace, but there's some funny people. There's some funny people in this world. Well done, Ryan. Exactly. Troll alert. Troll alert in the building. What a shame. But anyway, let's talk my favourite subject. Let's talk Paul Gascoigne and give some nostalgia on, for me,
the Tottenham GOAT for the rest of my life for many, many reasons. Ben, obviously, you didn't get to see him. You didn't get to see him at all. You only got to see him at all. I mean,
the only time I've ever seen Paul Gascoigne was when Spurs played Inter Milan in the first game at the new stadium. That's the only time I've ever seen.
Do you know what, Ben? I'll say that was the loudest roar of the night. Him coming on the pitch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I mean. That just says. I mean, were you even around and remember you're a 96, or was that even before your time?
I was 1 year old, Aki. I was 1.
So you can still remember Gazza's goal against Scotland, then? That's your first ever memory?
Yeah, just about.
I was there for it. I was there for that. Listen, Paul Gascoigne, what can I say about? I am blessed to have met him hundreds of times. Or no, not hundreds, that's a bit of an exact, but so many times. There is so many good stories about him. I got a few not so good about him when he was in his dark days, which I don't really want to go into. But I was very, very lucky. Paul Gascoigne was... a lot of people may have heard this story before, but I'm never tired from saying it. Paul Gascoigne's original agent when he was at Spurs was a guy called Mel Steen. And I was very, very good friends with his son, Paul Steen.
I love hearing this story.
Mate, I'm very, very good friends with his friend Paul Steen. We went to the same Jewish youth club. We used to hang out. Anyway, when it was his bar mitzvah, Paul Gascoigne was invited to the bar mitzvah in the synagogue. And Paul Gascoigne turned up. Never, ever, ever has the synagogue been so packed. There was probably like 3 or 4 to a seat. When he came in, obviously seeing him there, he was literally a row in front of me and to the right. I just could not stop looking at him in amazement. How old had I been then? 1991. It was when we won the FA Cup. So I would have been what, 12? Yeah, I'd been 12. Yeah. 12. I've been 12. Yeah, so I should have worked that out, seeing that I was 13 in 92. Literally came in, synagogue packed. The rabbi went to do his sermon and even joked and said, listen, I've never seen so many people in the synagogue. Paul Gascoigne, maybe you want to come up and do the sermon. And Gaz got up to do one. And the rabbi said, no, Paul, I'm only joking, sit down. He had to leave early because Spurs were playing Oxford in the FA Cup. And he went on and scored 2, made 2. He was absolutely incredible. And I got to meet him a load of times through that. I met him in Harrods. This is my favourite story. When he came into Harrods and he came in and literally people said Paul Gascoigne is in the building. And as you walk through the intersections at Harrods, I was standing right by the intersection. And as he walked past me, I thought I said it quietly, but I was like, oh my God, I love you. And he was like, he looked at me very, very weird. I was like, you're a Spurs fan, aren't you? I went, yeah. And obviously told him the story. He's like, oh, okay. Obviously didn't remember me because there was loads of people there. And then I went shopping with him. He was like, you're taking me shopping. And the worst thing was he'd spent so much. This was back in the day where it weren't chip and pin. Your credit card, it was done such a weird way. But he must have been spending a load on it that it actually went to, I had to call up for authorization and I had to speak. When I said, listen, I said, who's the guest you've got after the card or customer? And I said, Paul Gascoigne. He wanted to speak to him. There were just so there. Listen, the guy, but when you talk about his football, I was very, very blessed. I was able to see pretty much every single game of him at home due to my uncle working within the club or a part of the club. He was one of the photographers. When people say he was worth the entrance fee alone, this guy was absolutely magical on the football. I always say, I get asked this question, as we all do, or you probably do with your friends as well. If you could bring one player back in his prime, and he's in this squad right now, no matter what this squad is, no matter what this squad needs, it will always be Paul Gascoigne for me. It will always
because you know he's going to snap at you. He's whispering Glenn Hoddle and under his.
No, listen.
Whispering under his breath.
You got to remember, Glenn Hoddle. I missed. I always do this on players I've seen. I always do this on players I've seen. Angus, I never got to. Well, I watched him on Rangers on television, but never saw him. I never went to Ibrox. But Paul Gascoigne is, without doubt, I still say the greatest talent that England have seen. People will say Rooney. Some will say Paul Gascoigne is, for me, just a very, very, very special man. Yeah. Obviously, I love him for that reason. I love him for Italian 90, where he was the best player in the tournament, bar none, in his first and only World Cup. But also, I have a very deep connection with him due to our demons.
Yeah.
And there's so many times that I see him doing well. And what one of the things I have hated is the pubs still serve him. The pubs still go in and serve him. And then there's loads of videos when he's been on a bender and people just film this and put it on social media for clicks and likes. If I ever owned a pub and Paul Gascoigne walked in and said, give me a pint or give me what, I'll be like, fuck off. Not a goddamn... How pubs do this and whatever... It's just a shame that this has happened to him. But Paul Gascoigne, if you never got to see him, like I said, my biggest regret in my life, Spurs wise, is I never saw Bale live.
Yeah.
But if someone had said to me, you could have seen Bale live,
well, Gareth Bale was my Gazza, mostly because his name was also Gareth, so you could also call him Gazza in a way. Paul Gascoigne was just. For England, like again, people were mentioning the Scotland goal. That's just pure Paul Gascoigne. It's people were waxed lyrical about Delhi's goal against Crystal Palace.
Yep,
Gazza's goal was 4 times that, lifting it over back of the net, the falling on his back whilst everyone squirted him in the face. The goal he scored against Arsenal without his shoe on.
There's so much more.
Unbelievable footballer. Just a pure footballer.
There's so much more. I mean, obviously, his demons... I mean, Jono just said the reason I supported Spurs... So many people, when I put a tweet out yesterday, he is the reason I support Tottenham. Like, that's what happens in your lifetime, isn't it? There's a big player and you support him. Big up Morton Barley, just seen you in there.
Good to see you, Gary.
Yeah, listen, you are doubly blessed, and also you got to see Hoddle. You got the trilogy. You got the trilogy up. There's a Paul Gascoigne. You can look.
That is, if you want to sum up Paul Gascoigne, Hoddle said to Gazza, "I found Jesus." Gazza said, "Why? That must have been a pass."
Yeah,
that is pure Paul Gascoigne.
He's just
Paul Gascoigne.
That man, and this was during the time as well where you used to be able to go watch training. This is where Spurs' training ground was literally a field at Mill Hill. Obviously, there was a room where they did all but nothing like today. The man was I am truly blessed, honoured and privileged to have seen him. The 91 FA Cup run, forget what, on the final, he was a nightmare. He was obviously off his nut on something. But he set up the free kick for Paul Stewart against Blackpool.
Yep.
Destroyed Oxford. Destroyed Portsmouth, destroyed Notts County, destroyed Arsenal. I mean, the 10 minutes, and obviously people talk about Paul Gascoigne's free kick. What I love, I mean, that you can't beat, but people, if you go and watch the second goal for Lineker and the 1-2 he plays with Paul Allen, Mickey Thomas is still looking for him. Yeah. Mickey Thomas is still looking for Paul Gascoigne. He is just unbelievable, and everyone at Tottenham on tour, and I think the whole Spurs world wish him a very speedy recovery. Obviously, more details to come out, but Gazza, I mean, you got to remember as well, Rob, Gazza against Notts County, he scored in the final minutes, but he was the reason that Notts County scored and went 1-0 up. Paul Gascoigne is just, for me, like I said, it doesn't matter who we sign. We could go on in years and years to come, in my lifetime, go and sign the greatest player in the world at the time, because the owners have got whatever. He still will not have a patch on Paul Gascoigne for me. No one ever will come close to that man for me. He is Obviously, this was when I was a kid. I had his shell suits. I had Fog on the Tyne single. Gazza brought something out. My parents got it for me. Just the greatest player in a Spurs shirt for me, and nothing will ever change on that.
The funny one, he told the story of Peter Shilton in goal. I think Peter Shilton was in goal.
He was.
And Gazza just had a sponsorship for a mobile
phone. They've been away with England.
Yeah, been away. So he gave him a mobile phone and he said, when we play against you, I'm going to have a phone in the goal and I'm going to call you and I'm going to tell you where I'm going to put the free kick. And then he goes on to score a hat-trick of free kicks.
No, he scores two free kicks. Two free kicks, and he's just like that to him. I was at that game. Literally, you can see him when he scores the third one that he's pissing himself as he runs away. He is literally, honestly, we could talk about Gascoigne. I could do a whole show on Gascoigne. No matter where it
goes on Gascoigne.
Do you know what, as well? One of the stories, it is a Spurs story, but it's not. The first game I ever took my sister to was Spurs-Everton, and it was when he was at Everton. And literally the whole game was spent singing to Paul Gascoigne. He got to take a corner at each corner of the ground, the whole stadium. He's coming. Melia is meant to be coming in January, I believe. Oh, is Rabona penning the testimonial for... can't remember who the testimonial was. Just the greatest player and most technical player for his size as well, and what he done in the World Cup in Italia 90 was...
When you get a tournament named after you, Gazzamania.
Yep.
That shows you how good you are.
Yep. The only thing I wish for Paul Gascoigne is that he was playing in today's era, because all of his demons, I don't think would have happened. He would have been shut off from the world. It's done differently. Yes, he'd have the hype over him, but yep, I've heard all the Gazza stories, mate. There's not a Paul Gascoigne thing with the fish when he broke him for a sandwich, mate.
When he kicked the ball out, when they were at training, and he kicked the ball over the fence, and he said, "I'm just going to get the ball back," and then he came back the next day and said, "I found it."
Mate, put it this way, on Paul Gascoigne on my YouTube, on Watch Later, I have 60 Paul Gascoigne videos that I watch religiously. I just absolutely love that man. And you know what? On that note, mate, I've just had a message from the mothership. They want me to go on and try and force through the Morgan Gibbs-White deal now that he hasn't gone training. So I'm going to be hopping on over there. Indeed.
So we will be ending the show there. Thank you to everyone who's been watching the show today. Make sure, if you haven't already, go and like and subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. We are 360 odd away from 10,000 subscribers. We don't get to mention it a lot. We're not going to push it through. We're not going to be overly pushy, but it'd be really, really amazing if we can get to 10K before the end of the year. But we will continue with good content. Tottenham on Tour will be back on Friday unless there is new news coming out at this point in any week. But the Coffee Company will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. The only show that's live every day at 2 p.m. And always remember that. But thank you all so much for watching today's show. Thank you to Malware for sending a super chat. It really helps us out a lot. If you do wish to support us, you can give us a super chat or become a member of the show. It helps us out a lot. Thank you all so much for watching.
To add to this, Ben, as well, what I am going to do this week, that we will be live a couple more times, because I'm going to make sure I do a call-in show this week. It's been a while, so I'm going to make sure I do a call-in show, and I'm going to make sure one day this week I do another late night, 2 a.m. UK time, 9 p.m. North America or Eastern time. So there will be 2 more live shows this week. I just don't know what days yet, but there will be 2 more live shows this week from Tottenham on Tour.
But thank you all so much for watching today's show. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And as always, if you know what the cough is brewing, take it away, Aki.
The therapy session is closed till we're next open, but I will always end off with Thomas, Frank, Thomas, Frank, and as always, Levy out.